Germany is preparing for war against Russia. This is the second time that I'm reporting this particular Germany preparation of war against Russia. I honestly think this Merz guy is the most anti-Russian guy among all Germany vice chancellors. I don't get it. I think Germany honestly haven't forgiven the Russians after Second World War. I think these guys still hold some grudges in them against the Russians, because what these guys are doing, I honestly don't get it. Listen to this. So this was posted by Reuters. Germany plans for 1,000 wounded troops per day in case conflict with Russia. The whole article is very funny. Listen to the whole thing carefully. Germany plans for 1,000 wounded troops per day in case of conflict with Russia. Germany have already calculated everything. The Russian attack will be in 2029 and 1,000 wounded German soldiers will be admitted daily. So how did Germany know that 1,000 people will be wounded daily? How did they come to that conclusion? I think they should go and ask the Ukrainians what is currently happening. 1,000? Really? Let's continue. The German forces are developing plans to assist potentially up to 1,000 wounded soldiers daily in the event of large-scale armed confrontation between NATO and Russia. This comes amid long-standing allies warning that Moscow may be capable of launching an attack as early as 2029. Well, those of you who think this is a joke, this is not a joke. This is German citizens training hard to defeat Putin army. Check it out. Now, one of the best ways to help this channel is by hitting on the like button, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Now, they are preparing for 1,000 wounded troops per day. 1,000 is absolutely not realistic. In fact, in a full-scale war against Russia, I think they should look at their own history books. What happened in Kursk? What happened in Stalingrad? What happened in Crimea? They should just go back to Second World War and check. They are the best to check because it happened to them. So preparing for 1,000 wounded soldiers per day, this is absolutely not realistic. Even the war happening in Ukraine, no, this is not a full-scale war. The Russians have not declared total war on Ukraine. This is not a full-scale war. This is special military operation. So even against the Ukrainians, that is not a full-scale war. When you look at the number of casualties at the peak of the war back in 2023, 2024, more than 3,000 wounded per day. So if Germany is preparing for 1,000, I think they are still lagging behind. They have to do more. This is absolutely nothing. Now let's continue. Bundeswehr Chief Sergeant Ralf Hoffmann stated that the number of wounded in the event of conflict would depend on intensity of fighting and units involved. Realistically, we are talking about roughly 1,000 wounded per day, he said in an interview with Reuters. Germany. What at all? Why can't these guys just let the Russians be? What is the offense that the Russians have committed? I just want to know. What is their offense? What the hell have they done wrong to the West? These guys continue. Who even told them that Russia is planning to invade them in 2029? What does Russia stand to gain from invading the West in 2029? I don't really understand why Germany see the Russians as their enemy, because after Germany lost in Second World War, right? We all know what happened. You know, Germany was divided into two, Eastern Germany and Western Germany. Now, the Eastern Germany, which was controlled by the Soviet Union, they withdrew their forces, over 600,000 troops under Gorbachev, from Germany and allowed Germany reunification. But the Americans refused to withdraw their troops. Are you aware that up to date, American troops are still in Germany, Western Germany? They still control Germany. They are still in Germany. And yet, you see the Russians as your enemy. And that is why many academians today ask that, is Germany really free? Is Germany really an independent country? Because the Americans never left. The West never left. They still control Germany today. I believe this is an attempt by the German government to hide the real economic crisis in Germany. These guys have basically putting aside the economic crisis that is currently happening in Germany, and they are currently going after the Russians, always attacking Russia in the media. Currently, German economy is collapsing. Germany, who used to be the economic superpower of the West today, Germany cannot compete with China. Germany cannot compete with Americans. Germany cannot compete with Russia again. They used to get cheap oil and gas from the Russians. But look at what happened. They decided to follow the Americans' anti-Russia stance, and today look at what is happening in Germany. Germany economy is collapsing completely. And I don't know whether the German government, I don't know whether Germany's citizens voted for the government to come and take anti-Russian stance, or whether they voted for them to come and fix Germany. I don't know which is which. Because daily, constantly, this man's guy is always on Russia. These guys continue to contradict themselves day in, day out. Just today, Donald Trump tweeted that, the Russian army is weak, blah, 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 blah. Now, they are saying that these camps admit long-standing allies warning that Moscow may be capable of launching an attack in early as 2029. The same army whom you claim is weak. Why are you guys scared if the Russians are really weak? If Russia cannot defeat Ukraine, how can they defeat the whole of Europe? Constantly you keep telling us that the Russian army is weak. And every day you guys are disturbing our peace with Russia is trying to take over the whole of Europe, so you guys must work together and you must combat Russia. If Russia is weak, why are you guys preparing ahead of time? I just don't get it. This is common sense. Think about it critically. Today, Germany cannot compete with Japan and China again. No. Look at the Japanese. When they all took this anti-Russian stand, the Japanese quickly decided to go back and trade with the Russians again. They were buying stuff from the Russians. So they are getting cheap oil and gas. The Chinese equally are getting cheap oil and gas from the Russians. So if they produce stuff, it is more cheaper on the market. When Germany today produce stuff, it is very expensive, making it totally impossible for the consumer to buy. And that is why today, even Mercedes-Benz is laying off workers. VW is laying off workers. The situation in Germany is a sad one. If Germany is allowed to trade freely with the Russians, Germany and Russia will become the most powerful countries in Europe. Now, the Russians have the resource. Germany have the technology. Note, the main reason why Germany became economically powerful after Second World War is mainly because Russia decided to give them cheap oil and gas. That is how come Germany was able to produce all the stuff that they produce in the world. When Angela Merkel signed the Nord Stream 2 pipe deal, right, connecting Germany straight to Russia. Note, the Nord Stream 1 was meant for the whole Europe, but Nord Stream 2 was meant purposely for Germany. So Germany had energy security from the Russians. And today they decided to mess up their own country. And here they are saying that they are preparing for war against Russia. What do you stand to gain from war? Oh, Germany. Once again, this is a testament to how powerful Russia is, because all these countries in Europe, all of them are preparing against just a single country. The main reason why NATO exists is to tell you how powerful Russia is. I don't need to come and sit here to convince you that Russia is powerful. The fact that the whole Western Europe cannot fight against Russia, they have to go and bring in the Americans to support them, clearly prove how powerful the Russians are? Well, this is the second time that Germany is talking about preparation for war against the Russians. Do you think that Germany stand a chance to defeat the Russians? If yes, type yes in the comment section, and if no, type no in the comment section. Love you guys. Thank you once again for supporting Timor 360 channel. You guys have been wonderful. Your support is something that I can't take for granted. Thanks for your endless support. Shalom. See you guys in the next episode.